last day of capstone. It's been fun for me. We didn't get to finish some of the items, but as we progress during the summer, I'll keep in contact with students if they want to participate in some of the work that's left to do. Prep for Jim Deegan, talk about network security. Students talk about questions, topology. We talked about the WAN, talked a little bit about radius. We didn't get a chance to ask him or much about provisioning, but we did get to partake in what I thought was a really good presentation. So Jim started out, he gave a little background for him, 30 some years. Yeah, they have an outside group monthly, every month, do a penetration test. From that, they check it, so you got an outside force checking it, and then Jim said they fix it. You know, they do the work internally. He says, so you have two parties doing that, which is good. They do their training, the human element, through KnowBe4. Well known. I know other companies in town use them. Personal information identification. Scanning, they scan all the hard drives that are shared. Shared storage space for Social Security numbers or any personal identification type information that they should take off. You know, people accidentally put it on there by mistake or whatever, so there's things they look for. They do daily backups. They do it to a local disk, and then that's replicated into a cloud. They have a site here in Iowa that they replicate that to. Antivirus scanning. Good question. USB drives, they don't disallow them because students use them so much to move data back and forth, you know, from home and so forth. But they do virus scan them, but otherwise, yeah, that is a risk. We talked about the, actually this came later on, but we talked about the Barracuda. They download and use the website. It's a spam filtering and antivirus checking software. It used to be outside the firewall, but now they have it inside the firewall. But what I thought was way interesting, all of the email comes through there first before it goes to Office 365. Okay. Barracuda, so they download this information and they're looking at some cloud services for Barracuda maybe in the future, and it actually might be then a lot of the work would be done outside of the NIAC network. So then Jim gave us a tour of the Palo Alto firewall. They have two of them. One is the active one is there in standby. So they mirror each other. So if the active one goes down, the standby takes over. And then you can fix this one. So what things? They showed us the networking. They showed us assigning IP addresses to names or objects and how you can group a bunch of objects together into groups to make managing the firewall much easier. Security profiles, and a big key part of this is policies. It would look at what things are high risk. They actually block some regions of the country like Russia and China, and a number of others. Okay, and then looking at the outgoing information, they monitor that. They have different filters, URL. They use Wildfire. It's a cloud solution that they make submissions to, and then they look at in order to determine if data is appropriate or what they're transmitting. Again, PII, and they have a product called Global Protect that they use on the firewall. And then he demoed a bunch of things on the firewall. Somebody asked about number of people. 3 in the infrastructure area, which covers security, networking, servers, phones, cameras, and then he listed a couple other things. Okay. Jim primarily deals with networking, and I think he does a lot of the security stuff too. So it was interesting. He mentioned, if you want to look up, if you're, places that have hacked, have I been pawned? The idea of pawned. You can check on that. All right. We looked at the network up here. Oh, we talked a little bit about wireless. They use a ClearPath product, sets rules for the wireless, and the wireless goes through their own separate zone. And we talked about setting up equipment like for gaming in the dorms. Just not a very good scenario for gaming. You just got one public IP for that dorm traffic, and so you have ports and so forth. It's just kind of hassle, but you have to manage that somehow. So they're in their own zone in the firewall, so they're kept separate from everything else. The Wi-Fi on campus. That stands WAN, LAN. Okay. And I think that's enough on this page. We talked about some of the online issues with the workforce, schools. We talked a little bit about video conferencing, issues with power, some solutions there. When we do some of the things we do on campus, having a local example helps students understand. Same thing with programming in one or two languages, a procedural and object-oriented language. So, yeah, seeing how it's supposed to be a network, or how you see, iOS or the network. You see them in smaller examples on campus. Helps you understand the big picture. I just found an article today after class about internet and its performance and how it's been working well. And we talked about doing some work on the firewall this summer later on in our area. Okay, mentioned a couple key things as the students do their final report. Make sure there's enough text, images labeled, and so forth. And we talked a little bit about alumni and access to Cisco materials and CCNA certification testing. All right, been a great year. Take care of yourselves. That's it.